What's up, everybody? This has been the Bearded Coffee Blogger, back for another Saturday coffee drop. And we're doing a tasting today. And today we've got Tchibo Feine Milde. And I'm sorry if I've mispronounced that. I'm sure I have. My good friend Phyllis from my church knows I love coffee. She gave me this. She said this was the coffee that everybody drank every time she was over in Germany. I think is what she said. I do believe this might be coffee from Holland, but apparently everybody in Germany drinks it. I can't read anything on the back about what it's about, but I did find this online. I'll give you a brief rundown of what it is, and I'm going to go brew some. We're going to try it. Tchibo Feine Milde is ground coffee, 16 ounces. And it says it's a fine and naturally mild coffee with a unique taste. Love mild, lighter roasted stuff, so I'm going to probably love that. It's composed of 100% Arabica, so it is all Arabica, from the finest growing areas of Brazil and the high altitude areas of Central America, and subtly fruity Arabica beans from Papua New Guinea. So we got Brazil, Latin America, Papua New Guinea blend, Feine Milde, lighter roasted Arabica coffee. All right, I'm going to do my standard 16-to-1 pour over V60, and I'll be back in a minute, and we'll check it out. Okay, so I'm back with the Tchibo Feine Milde. Again, apologies, because I don't know how to pronounce those words correctly. And I don't know what language it is, honestly. But again, she said every time she was in Germany, this is what everybody drank, and it was awesome. So a couple things of note I noticed when I was brewing it. Number one, it was already pre-ground. It was finer than I would have ground it. That didn't seem to affect extraction time too much. Maybe because it wasn't, it was vacuum sealed, but it's still not as fresh as like really fresh roasted stuff. And then for it being labeled very mild and very light, it's still probably darker than the average coffee that I'm going to drink normally. So it's a little darker, a little finer. That could mean more bitter. We'll see. We'll see how it is. All right, so it has that kind of standard everyday coffee smell to it. I don't really know exactly what that is, but like if you're in a grocery store and you're just checking out kind of your standard coffees, it's kind of got that diner, like everyday coffee aroma to it, which for me is not an unpleasant smell. That smell still makes me happy. It does have a it doesn't smell over roasty. I don't get like that, like when stuff's really roasted dark, like that big chain coffee establishment, Starbucks. Sometimes some of their really dark stuff, like French roast, Italian roast, will almost have like kind of a burnt rubber smell, very like fishy, oily. It doesn't have any of that. This is pleasant to smell. Again, this just reminds me of diner coffee. Well done. I do get a little bit of nuttiness there. That's nice. I'm not getting much else from it. But maybe milk chocolate and a little bit of nuttiness. Again, pleasant. Let's taste it. So my initial impression is it is darker and more roasty than what I'm used to. Again, I'm very much in the third wave coffee scene, for lack of a better lack of a better phrase. This is probably a couple notches darker than I would typically drink. So I might actually, if I brewed it again, I might stretch out I might change my brewing parameters a little bit. I might actually go 15-to-1 rather than 16-to-1, because sometimes you can, the darker coffee is, the more easy you can over extract it and it can get bitter. So by changing your ratio less to lower, my normal 16-to-1, 15-to-1, then I'm putting less water per gram of coffee. So I'm actually extracting less. And so that's going to decrease bitterness and get me more towards, that sweet spot that I'm looking for. But at the same time, So dark, it's kind of what initially hit me. I think this would be really pleasant with milk. I think, again, brewed a little bit different, it'd probably be great. Let me see if I can pull any tasting notes out of this. No, I don't really get any, if I'm just going to be totally honest. The tasting note I get is kind of like coffee. Not really like this or this or this. I do smell the milk chocolate and the nuttiness on the nose. But overall on palate, I'm just kind of getting coffee. But it's a pleasant coffee. This is the coffee that, you know, your grandparents are probably going to love. That if you have just kind of grown up on Folgers, Maxwell House, you know, all those sorts of coffees, this is right in those veins. It is really well done. I may shoot up part 2 of this and try it at a different ratio and see if I can remove a little bit of the bitterness, because I actually think it's probably a really good coffee, especially for the price. I mean, just looking online, I think it was about $10 for 16 ounces. Yeah, so 17.6 ounces because it's in grams. So 500 grams for $9.98. That's not bad if you're not really like way into coffee. You just need coffee. You know, Feine Milde could be a great option for you, along with like 8 o'clock bean roast and some of those that we find in our grocery stores that are honestly really good. Like, I don't think Dunkin' Donuts is a bad coffee for the price. Things like that. If it's like I'm not geek level coffee bin. I just need coffee. I just like coffee. I just want coffee. I sugar up my coffee. You know, if that's you, this is great. And I can see where it'd be super, super pleasant. You know, brewed a little bit differently or with any sort of additive. So we're going to pause it there. I may come back after one more brew and tell you what happens when I change it to 15-1, if it gets better or worse. You would think you'd go 17-1 because that would be, you know, less coffee per water, but actually decreasing it to 15-1 is going to extract less and may make it more pleasant. It's going to still be bold, but may make it more pleasant. So we'll be back in a minute. Okay, so I'm back. All right, so this is the original brew. This is my standard V60 16-1. This Feine Milde. And then here is the 15-1. So this is actually we've increased the strength because there's more coffee to water in the ratio, but we have decreased the extraction, if that makes sense. So this has seen less water. So we pulled less stuff out of it. I'm going to try this one. This has gotten better as it's cooled, I'll be honest. But definitely, this has greater depth of flavor, less punch than this one had initially, and this is the way to brew this. So if you're, and that's kind of a helpful hint I learned not all that long ago. If you're dealing with a darker roasted coffee and you want to make the most of it, use a 15-1 ratio is usually what I do. In other words, lower your ratio. If you're normal 16-1, 16-5-1, lower it to 15-1. This got so much more pleasant, so much more even, less bitter. This is the way to do this. This is a great coffee to have sitting around your house if a bunch of people are coming over and you just want to brew standard, normal, like good, like really good diner coffee. I'm still not picking out any like weird tasting notes or anything like that. The most I get is that nuttiness and kind of milk chocolate on the nose. There may even be a little bit of almond now on the palate, so it's got that going for it. But definitely 15-1. I also thought I'd show you this real quick. I had this filter sitting from yesterday. This is like my normal brew. You can kind of see the grind saw. You know, we're running not too coarse, but fairly coarse. And that's the darkness. And then you can see this is that Feine Milde. You see how much finer. See how much finer this coffee is and how much darker it is. If you just kind of compare the two. So even though they call this light roast, you can see the differences. They're kind of quite a bit different. So anyway, this has been a brief Saturday coffee review, and we had some fun. Phyllis, thank you so much. If you ever watch this, thank you so much for giving me this coffee. It's beautiful. I don't know anything about the European coffee scene, so I love getting to try this. And I love coffee. I don't care what kind of coffee it is. You know, here's the number one rule of coffee. You do you. If you like it, that's all that matters. Except for Keurig. You people you have a problem. But everything else, if you're brewing it normal and standard or whatever, coffee is a wonderful gift from God. Hope you guys have a great Saturday. I'll catch you later. Peace.